all so much for joining the Capital Region Coalition for Digital Inclusion for our quarterly meeting today. It's great to have you all with us. Before we get started, I want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors and our steering committee. These events are supported by the Capital Region's workforce boards, which include Sacramento Employment and Training Association, Sacramento Works, Golden Sierra Job Training Agency, YOLO Works, and the North Central Counties Consortium, along with SMUD, AT&T, and Union Bank. Also want to say a thank you to our steering committee, comprised of members from the Los Rios Community College System, Clear Strategies, SETA again, Sacramento Public Library, Sacramento State, and the City of Sacramento. So without these investments and the guidance of our steering committee, this work would not be possible. So I want to say a quick thank you to all of those folks before we get rolling here. And as we get started, I know we usually will have a little bit of banter and chat with these meetings and some in the chat as well. But we're going to go ahead and do that again in that chat function. So before we get started, I want folks to go ahead and introduce yourself, your organization, and share one celebration that you've had this year in the chat. It could be anything personal, professional. Did you get a puppy? Did you perfect your enchilada recipe? You know, what is your celebration this year? Have you had a major accomplishment at work? Are you in a new position? Could be personal, professional, but I want everyone to go ahead and introduce themselves, your org, and that celebration there in the chat. I love to see folks networking and getting to know each other. Maybe folks can swap recipes or are connected in some way too. So please go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat there. And we're going to have folks continuing to do that as we roll on in. So please go ahead and introduce yourself and we will get rolling here. I think we can move right on. And before we get started, I think we're going to go over our kind of quick little community rules and agenda here. But for anyone who may be new to these meetings or hasn't been in a while, I wanted to do a quick welcome and introduction. Many of you have seen my face before. I'm Caitlin Blockus. I'm a project manager over broadband and digital equity here at Valley Vision. But I'm delighted to be joined by Navreet Hundal, who's our project associate over broadband and digital equity. Navreet is excellent and will be showing some really interesting data later on about from our region and kind of all over about the Affordable Connectivity Program, among other things. So wanted to introduce you to both of us, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Want to establish quickly a little bit of housekeeping, so please mute your microphones there. We love hearing your kids and cats and dogs and maybe your neighbor's leaf blower, but we're going to have you mute yourselves until the time comes. But there will be some time for question and answering to either share verbally, or we ask folks to also raise your virtual hand and we'll call upon you. So we'll have some time to chat there. And then important to note, this meeting will be recorded and provided with post-meeting materials. So you'll get a recording of this meeting, you'll get all of our PowerPoint slides, and we also put together fairly cohesive notes about this meeting, which will be sent out in an email next week. So you will get all of that goodness emailed to you, and it will also be on our coalition website. So thank you. And we're going to go over our agenda now. So you are here with me for a little introduction and icebreaker. Shortly, we're going to go into some updates and exciting announcements, which we're just stoked to share. Navreet will walk you through our coalition year in review, talking about all of our achievements, all the things that we've done together this year. And then we'll dive into kind of the meat of our program, which is talking about the Affordable Connectivity Program, what that looks like in the Capital Region. And we'll also hear from ACP leaders across California, across the country. So thank you all for joining us for that. And I'm going to just dive right on into it and go over to our kind of announcements. So we have 3 announcements top of the line here. I'm going to go through them just briefly, but then I'm going to pass them over to the folks who've really been leading this hard and very incredible work. So first of all, Sacramento State has been awarded a national telecommunications Information Administration grant for the Connecting Minorities Community Pilot Program. We're also joined here today from Bite Back, who is introducing a digital navigator program in Sacramento. And we're also joined by Julius Austin and kind of related to that, announcing the Marina Vista Alder Grove communities have been awarded $2.5 million for youth-focused community investments. So really excited about all of that. But I'm going to pass it over to the folks who have been leading this work. I'll start with you first, Dr. Yvonne Harris. Just to give a little background on Yvonne, she is the Associate Vice President of Research, Innovation, and Economic Development at Sacramento State University, as well as an honored member of our Coalition Steering Committee. And she led the development of this new grant through the NTIA for a digital navigator program. Dr. Harris really saw the opportunity to connect Sacramento State students with their community with a focus on the Lemon Hill area of South Sacramento. And our coalition assisted by preparing an analysis of the broadband gaps in Lemon Hill based on a suggestion by Roy Kim, who is a member of our steering committee and also deputy director from SETA. So Dr. Harris is going to go ahead and give an overview of that project, and I will pass it over to you. Oh, I think you're on mute there. Happens to the best of us, I'm afraid. There we go.
All right, thank you, Caitlin. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I was given the opportunity to give a overview of the NTIA funding that we received. We were only notified of this funding award on Thursday. And it presents a real challenge for us because, as you know, we were looking to hear more about the award in April. And so now we've gone a full year from the submission of the original proposal. So given the timing issue here, because we hope to start in April, we're going to have to review the proposal and make some changes. So I don't have any detailed information for you quite yet. I will have more in the first quarter next year, but I just wanted to give you an overview of what we presented to NTIA and was awarded. So the funding we received was to create the Sacramento Regional Consortium for Digital Equity, consisting of the following members. 3 minority serving institutions, which are Sacramento State, Sacramento City College, and Consumes River College, Valley Vision, and other eligible 501c3s, and community-based organizations in the Lemon Hill community. La Familia Counseling Center, the Greater Sacramento Urban League, the United Way California Capital Region. Each of those members have a specific scope of work that's attached to this funding. For Sac State, we're the lead administrator. We're involved in recruiting, training, and supervising the digital navigator interns, providing training space, and helping the DNIs connect to CBOs. As part of that award, our role is also to provide community engagement lab space and lead the project evaluation, including best practices. With our other partners, Greater Sacramento Urban League, La Familia Counseling Center, Sac City, United Way, and Valley Vision, there are scopes of work that center around providing computers and opportunities for the DNIs to support computer basic and digital literacy instruction and learning at satellite locations in Lemon Hill, identify and match the DNIs with CBOs in the region, help supervise DNIs, and also participate in project evaluation, including best practices. Valley Vision has agreed to help SCC and CRC build their capacity for the second year of the DI training and supervision. We are committed to training a specific number of DNIs and having Sac City come on board with training those digital navigators in the second year is really crucial. We also have some informal collaborators, we have the California Emerging Technology Fund. We have the Sacramento Employment Training Agency and Sacramento Coalition for Digital Inclusion that is led by the Valley Vision. We are also have an outside evaluator, North State Planning and Development Collective in Chico, and they will be conducting program evaluations for Sac State and for all 3 regions of the California as part of the CETF learning community. So let me give you a little bit of the project rationale, which will remain the same even though there are expected changes. The funding to form a consortium on minority serving institutions, nonprofit organizations, and CBOs to address 4 main barriers to digital equity in underserved communities: access to affordable high-speed internet services, access to appropriate hardware devices, lack of proficiency in digital literacy and skills, and lack of willingness for broadband adoption. Funding was to establish and resource the consortium to work together to develop, implement, and deploy a pilot project model using students from targeted underserved communities to serve as digital navigators to address these barriers and create more opportunities for digital equity that lead to inclusive economic development. The main project goals are: 1, create a partnership consortium to amplify the outreach to the community. 2, recruit and train students from the minority serving institutions as DNIs. 3, work with other 501c3 organizations in the underserved community to deploy the DNIs throughout the community. 4, establish a community engagement lab at Sacramento State in the 1st and 2nd year, and with the Sacramento City College in the 2nd year. 5, to support on-site and distance education programs using DNIs at CBOs and on-campus cells, which is the Community Engagement Lab. 6 was to incorporate California Emerging Technology Fund in-kind support for higher education collaborative for digital navigators. The target community, as was stated for the pilot, is Lemon Hill. Why Lemon Hill? Because it was based on demographic and economic indicators presented in the Valley Vision's baseline assessment of digital inclusion needs. And Lemon Hill is listed as having the highest poverty rate, 37.9%, excuse me, among communities in Sacramento County with populations of 10,000 or more. Lemon Hill also has all the indicators of digital disparity: high poverty, predominantly minority community, lower education attainment, persistent gaps in internet service access, low access to computer devices, and high percentage of non-adopters. So that is the overview. As we start January, looking deeper at the budget and the original goals and how they will have to pivot, we will have more information during the first quarter of next year on how we're moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harris. I have to say it's been so rewarding going from sitting in a steering committee meeting with you all. And I remember Roy mentioning Lemon Hill as a potential opportunity, as, looking at their demographics and watching that kind of blossom into this project has been so rewarding. So thank you. And thanks for that detail. We're really excited to continue to share on that as we go into next year. But for now, I will pass it over to another digital navigator related program. And I want to introduce Chrissy Powell, who is the Chief Growth and Impact Officer at Bite Back. And to give folks a little bit of an overview, Bite Back is an organization originally based out of the Washington, D.C. and Baltimore area, which has a variety of really fantastic digital inclusion programs and has really been a trailblazer in the digital navigator space. We were connected with Bite Back through our partner through the Capital Region Digital Inclusion Portal. And I've had some great meetings with Chrissy and her team who have decided to bring another digital navigator program to Sacramento. So we are just ecstatic about that, but I will pass it over to Chrissy, who can better share all of the details about that program and about Bite Back's work.
Awesome. Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate it. Good. Well, it's good afternoon where I am. So good morning, I believe. Still good morning to you all. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Chrissy Powell. I'm the Chief Growth and Impact Officer at Bite Back, and also a member of NDIA, National Digital Inclusion Alliance, and National Skills Coalition, both great organizations that we've worked closely with over the years. So I am a kind of PowerPoint type gal, so forgive me while I share my screen. I just want to share a bit about Bite Back because, you know, it's always interesting when an outside organization has their eyes on a community. And it is real that communities are hesitant for outside organizations to come into their communities. And I know that, and I know why. And I know that community trust, building that community trust is key to make any impact in any community. So I don't say we are coming to Sacramento lightly. It is not that we are coming, it is that we are hopeful that the community will welcome us and that we can partner with community organizations that have built trust on the ground and really support the efforts already happening in Sacramento. So we've celebrated our 25th year. Bite Back has launched in 1997. We have been closing the digital divide for 25 years, which is really exciting. We have launched in Washington, D.C. And literally we started off in 97. I was not a part of Bite Back in 97, let me just say that, but Bite Back was really created initially to support individuals experiencing homelessness. And the founders really knew that IT was the future in 97 as far as jobs and tech training specifically, and really brought in individuals experiencing homelessness, housed them in a row home in DC, and trained them in how to repair computers and skills and other literacy around IT. So that is how Bite Back started. And our mission is to close the digital divide. What do? We provide, our focus is under-resourced communities, and are naturally about 96% of the community members that we serve are BIPOC, and 60% are women. 80% are unemployed, and the other 20% are underemployed individuals. So we, of course, are here to create a pathway into digital economy. And what this looks like for Bite Back is we do this through advocacy, digital literacy, and tech certification training. So many folks think that, you know, oh, Bite Back's just a workforce development organization. While we are a workforce development organization, because we provide IT training, career pathways in IT, both administrative as well as A+, NAT+, SEC+. However, our heart and soul has always been digital literacy skills training. We know that as a community, particularly our Black and Brown communities, workforce development is a need, it's a must, but we are not there yet. Where we are at is the need for foundational digital literacy skills training. We have tens and thousands of adults in cities throughout the country who do not know how to power on a computer, and it's a problem. So before we can even get our community members into jobs and into certification programs, we know that we have to skill them to be able to support themselves in everyday life, telemedicine, you know, social service benefits, every aspect of life, education, health, and work is really focused around digital literacy. So that's the heart and soul of Bite Back. One of our programs is our 360 Digital Navigators. And I'm so excited about our 360 Digital Navigators program. It has really just been an addition to what we've done for the last many, many years is our foundational computer digital literacy training, what we call Computer Foundations, which is a a very in-depth 24-hour digital literacy training program that gives community members the skills and the confidence to successfully navigate the digital world by themselves. But we know that we need a right now solution. Our community members need supports right now. They need somebody that they can go to right now. If they need to have a doctor's appointment, if they need to apply for some social service benefits, if they need to email a doctor, if they need to get a device, if they need to get connected to the internet, how to do that, if they need have food insecurities, they need to find a food pantry, how do they do that? Everything is online. So digital navigators, as you all know, I'm preaching to the choir, really is a right now gap to supporting our community members with digital tasks in the now. So our 360 Digital Navigators is our community approach to closing the digital divide. And this is where we really equip navigators with the skills, resources, and knowledge to support fellow community members with access to everyday life around health, education, and work. Through this initiative, we are going to certify hundreds of direct service workers as Bite Back 360 Digital Navigators. And by doing that, we are going to then support thousands of community members. And for those who aren't familiar with what digital navigators are, digital NDIA really, I want to say, popularized the digital navigator model and what a digital navigator is. But it's been going on for many years in communities. There's been digital navigators in communities for years. So digital navigators are trusted members of their communities, and they play a critical role here because when we talk about ACP access and why are community members not accessing ACP, for instance, why are they not applying for ACP? It's not because they don't want to. It's oftentimes because they haven't heard about it. It's oftentimes because they don't have a trusted friend or neighbor or person in the community who can vouch for it and say, hey, you need to sign up for this. Hey, this is available. There's no one at their church, sharing with them about these resources that's available to them. So the digital navigators is really a much needed community approach, because that is how the good word gets out, is community supporting community. So really, navigators are trained digital equity volunteers who, for us, who work in nonprofits, social service agencies, faith-based institutions, libraries, so on and so forth, and really helping community members identify and navigate online services and supports. So our training outline for our digital navigator model, there are various ones. Ours is a curriculum that we developed specifically. We have developed several curriculum over the years, and we continue to evolve our curriculum to ensure that it caters to the communities that we are serving. So it's never this is what the community needs. It's a community, what are your needs? Let's hear your needs, and how can we evolve and adapt our curriculum to the needs of the community? So after listening to our community, we created our digital navigator curriculum through Digital Navigator 101 and 102. 101 is a 4-hour training. You see here, it teaches the fundamentals of adult learning science, effective teaching strategies, and how to work with someone new to the digital world. So this is important because when we're training digital navigators, we're actually going into nonprofits, organizations already on the ground, supporting community members. And we're training those direct service workers, those case managers, those community outreach coordinators. We are training them and certifying them as digital navigators, equipping them with those tools. And one thing that is not easy is supporting a community member who does not know how to use a computer. Using a computer is literally like learning a new language, a foreign language. So we are equipping our digital navigators with the adult education and learning theory basics and evidence-based practice around how to support adults new to the digital world. And then our 102 is an 8-hour training that builds upon Digital Navigator 101. This one here simulates the digital literacy training on key topics that navigators can expect to come across when they're supporting community members. And here's just a list of things. I'm not going to go through all of those that we go through in 102. And it's really awesome. This 102 is really based off of our Computer Foundations 1, training, our digital literacy training, and they really get a feel for what it is to be a new learner in the digital world, so that they can then support the community members. So let me go. Oh, actually, wow. I went through that faster than I thought. I know I'm a big talker. I'm sure I went way over time, but that is just a peek into our digital navigator model. I mentioned we have been in DC for 25 years. We launched our Baltimore site in 2019. We launched training in Youngstown, Ohio in 2021, in Detroit this year. And we are launching in Miami, and with your support in Sacramento in Q1 of 2023, which we are really excited about. So any questions that come up, any comments, or just want to have conversation, I would love to get to know everyone, and super excited. One thing that we are focused on is hiring a program coordinator in Sacramento. Somebody, we know that as an outside organization, we can't just come in and set up shop. It's important that we bring on somebody that is of and from the community. That relatability and that engagement is key. We know that's a key factor. So we are currently actually looking to bring on a community member from the Sacramento community that, as a program coordinator, that will really spearhead and be the boots on the ground for our initiative and efforts in Sacramento. I did share it in the chat, a job description for that position. I'll put it in there once again. If you all have potentially have somebody who might be interested in taking on that position, or if you are an organization and you are interested in potentially hosting or housing that position, that would be absolutely amazing as well. We do have funding for the position, so this wouldn't be any ill effect to any organizations that want to partner with us as far as bringing on this program coordinator. So super excited. I'm so honored that you have me here, Caitlin, and appreciate the opportunity. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Chrissy. And again, kind of as Chrissy mentioned, and as I mentioned earlier, I should say, all of those slides will be presented with you all, and Chrissy has her contact information on there. She and I are kind of tag teaming to try and help get this position filled too. So if you, think of someone, you're also welcome to reach out to me, and I can pass that along to Chrissy. We're working together on this one. But thank you so much. We are so excited and have our fingers crossed and looking forward for what's to come in January. But I want to pass it next over to Julius Austin, who is the Sacramento Promise Zone Manager at the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency. Although Julius, I think you wear several other hats. And just to give some quick background, Julius has been a part of our coalition since the beginning and a part of Valley Vision since our school to home digital literacy program at Leah Floyd Elementary School in Sacramento. Building on that experience, Julius really shepherded a new broadband connectivity project along for the Marina Vista and Alder Grove community. So thank you so much for your leadership, Julius, and I will pass it over to you to give us a little bit of an overview of that new project.
Yeah, I won't give a deep overview of the project, but what I will do is kind of share information of kind of how we got to this exciting place on November 29th, where we took the next step that's going to help us get to a place to set up some broadband infrastructure. But I do want to clear up something. I feel like the kind of agenda item, the way that it's listed is a little bit misleading. So let me clear that up as well. So it wasn't that $2.5 million was awarded to Marina Vista and Alder Grove. What took place, unfortunately, in the wake of a tragic incident that ultimately resulted in the loss of life of a young child back in November of 2021, the city council began to look at the Marina Vista and Alder Grove area and try to identify some ways to increase security in the area and some ways to provide opportunities for the youth in the area. And ultimately what the city council did back in February 15th of 2022 was commit to Measure U funds to the general fund that would be focused on the Marina Vista Alder Grove area. And so that was a part of the mid-year budget. And so that was $2.5 million. And what took place since February 15th of 2002 was some efforts led by Councilmember Valenzuela, was engaging with the community to identify some of the things the community might want, things that would benefit the community. Definitely did that in partnership with SHRA and other individuals, families, community leaders, etc. And ultimately, what was proposed to the city council on November 29th was to use those funds and allocate those funds to some efforts. And those efforts included some Muirway Park improvements, which is a park in that area. Some opportunities for some after-school programming and supplemental programming. Some youth opportunities in regards to sports, both soccer and basketball related. Some programming in regards to parent supports. And then also a number of dollars that were earmarked towards providing some additional school support programming. But there was an amount that was allocated that is probably most important to this group at this time, which was $1.4 million being allocated towards the broadband infrastructure project. And what the broadband infrastructure project is, kind of as Caitlin alluded to in her introduction of me, thank you for that great introduction, Caitlin, was well, ultimately the broadband infrastructure project looks at the school to home project that took place at Leotada Floyd. It was a really awesome pilot that provided the opportunity for 25 students to take advantage of infrastructure that was put in to create access to Wi-Fi. And that provided the opportunity for those students to access the Wi-Fi free of charge to the families, and an opportunity for us to test the latency and the efficiency and the speeds of this broadband, test how easy it is for the families to use it, test whether or not they would suggest for their neighbors to use it, and test whether or not it helped make their lives better in regards to things like homework and etc. And ultimately the results of that pilot were astounding, really amazing. They were able, the infrastructure that was established was able to provide, I don't know if there's any internet service provider friends in here, but it was able to provide higher speed and better efficacy and et cetera than your normal internet service providers. And so we were ecstatic about that. And what we set forth to do was kind of build on that pilot and scale that project. And ultimately what we were able to do was develop a plan that will provide access to, well, that will create infrastructure that will provide access to Wi-Fi for the Marina Vista community, the Alder Grove community, for Leotada Floyd Elementary School, for Health Professions High School, and for any nonprofits partners in the area, and also for any service provider that comes into the community. And so we are super excited that this is going to impact guaranteed at least 751 households, and then all of the students and et cetera who are at the schools. And so really exciting stuff. It's a big step that took place on November 29th, but of course we still got some ways to go. But so you all will hear more as progress is made. What I also will do is in the chat, I will place the November 29th City Council meeting agenda. You can check out item number 27 in that agenda. And also it's in the agenda, but I also put the separate link to the staff report that kind of details more of kind of what took place as a catalyst of this, and then more details about each item where funding was earmarked for.
Thank you so much, Julius, for providing that history and also that correction. We'll go ahead and change on our slides and in our notes to adjust to that 1.4 number as well and include some of those details. So appreciate you doing that and your leadership on all of this. I also want to thank SHRA for joining us and also thank Andrew Kehoe from Mayor Steinberg's office. I know has popped on to join us today, so appreciate you joining us as well. I think we're going to keep on keeping this train rolling, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to our project associate, Navreet Hundal, who's going to go ahead and give an overview of our coalition's year in review, our accomplishments this year. But without further ado, I'll pass it over to you, Navreet.
Of course, thank you, Caitlin. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. So as you've just heard, we've had some exciting announcements for what's to coming in the Sacramento region, or in the capital region. And so just kind of as we kind of look for what's going on as we move forward, just kind of looking back and seeing what CRCDI has done in this year. So one major thing is that we launched the Capital Region Digital Inclusion Portal with MODAT. And so this continues to expand through both listings and usage. We've provided the link as well. Feel free to go ahead and explore. But again, it just provides a bunch of digital inclusion resources for our community members. And then it can be kind of filtered in different ways. For example, being free or just what you're looking for, whether it's a technology service or maybe digital skills learning, anything like that, free internet. It's a really great site. And so we'll have Caitlin drop it in the link or drop it in the chat. And this year we've had 4 coalition meetings. And so we've touched on a variety of topics. In February, we announced a launch of kind of the portal and then also our change from the Sacramento Coalition for Digital Inclusion to the Capital Region. So expanding, which is also very exciting. In June, we announced some funding opportunities for digital equity. In September, we spoke about our digital navigators, and we had several digital navigator programs come in and just kind of speak about what it's like holding a program and just kind of logistics of it. And then of course now our December coalition meeting is focused on the Affordable Connectivity Program. We obviously have the 2 digital navigator programs that are joining the region, the Sacramento State Connecting Minority Communities pilot program, and then of course the program with Bite Back, which is also very exciting. The Capital Region Workforce Boards have adopted North Star Digital Literacy as the literary baseline measurement tool, which is also very exciting. We see more digital inclusion tools being listed when it comes to employment assistance, which is very exciting. We received $15,000 in funding from Union Bank, which will be used to support this coalition and also expand the digital inclusion portal. So very exciting. And then the very last thing is that we received a grant from CETF, which is going to be focused on digital equity, especially in the area of ACP and its expansion. So now kind of jumping into the next thing where we've all been waiting for is ACP. So if we go on to the next slide. So speaking about the Affordable Connectivity Program, giving some background before we have our amazing guest speakers come on and join. The Affordable Connectivity Program is a Federal Communications Commission benefit program, and it pretty much ensures that households can afford that broadband needed just for basic necessities such as work, school, healthcare, and more. For households, this provides a $30 discount, but for communities that are within tribal households, this would be $75 per month. And then also, not only does this provide a $30 discount, but this also these households can also receive a one-time $100 discount on an eligible device, which of course helps further into kind of that digital divide. And then of course, it is one monthly service discount per household, which is important to know. Next slide. And the reason the Affordable Connectivity Program is such an important program and something we want to discuss is that, of course, broadband and digital equity is such a basic service now and so important to the way that communities are able to kind of move forward, but also the eligibility. Households are eligible in a variety of ways. One of the ways is being a Pell Grant recipient, and so kind of looking to schools and higher education institutions for that service. Schools that participate, K through 12 schools that participate in the National School Lunch or National School Breakfast programs have households that are eligible. SNAP, Medicaid, WIC, veterans, anyone who's on the FCC Lifeline is also eligible for ACP. And so that can also help cover both a cell phone and a computing device. And then also for households that are in tribal communities, just being on tribal TNF, food distribution programs, and a variety of other programs. So it's very important that we talk about ACP and also kind of looking at its eligibility. What are ways that other institutions can kind of get involved and help spread this information to our communities? And so kind of when we highlight and when we look at ACP in the capital region, it's really important to kind of just see how we're growing. What's our enrollment numbers like? What are we looking for? And so when we look at several of these counties, and then also we'll have the link dropped for where this information can be provided, but just looking at our enrollment data from July to October, we're only seeing a 1 to 2% growth between counties. And so far for all the eligible households, we have over 385,000 households eligible with only 93,000 enrolled so far. And so we still have a large gap to fill. And with these enrollment rates, we're hoping to kind of continue with this higher enrollment growth. And then also kind of moving forward, when we look at all these eligible households and we look at the number of who is enrolled so far, we see a low percentage number. So these averages are 14% for El Dorado. When we see Sacramento, it's an average of 28%. And then we look at that number as well. With such low kind of enrolled household percentages, the number of unenrolled households totals over 290,000 out of 800 or 385 that are eligible. And so kind of just again, looking at the averages of the capital region versus the whole state, the state's enrollment average is 45%. And when we look at the capital region, it's 24. So there obviously is a very large gap that needs to be filled. And this is a very viable program that can help our communities get connected to internet. And of course, the most important part, ACP is a source of funding that this region is leaving behind. Just looking at the number of unenrolled households, which are again, over 290 households, and just monthly for the $30 discount, this doesn't include our tribal communities, which are at the $75 discount, we are leaving 8.75 million behind monthly that can get our communities enrolled and connected to internet. And so kind of with that and with that in mind, I want to go ahead and leave it to Caitlin to just introduce our guest speakers and give some information on ACP and ways to kind of help with this enrollment and get involved.
Thank you so much, Navri. I always am impassioned by seeing some of those numbers and seeing how much money we are leaving on the table by not getting community members signed up for this program. And so I encourage you all, and I also want to thank Ian Scott in the chat from Yuba County, who they've really, led the charge in hosting different events and incorporating ACP programs within their Health and Human Services Department. Valley Vision has also made efforts on this behalf. We've worked a bit with Sac City Unified School District, getting information out to students, have some stuff underway now to connect with the local colleges and Pell Grant demographic, but would encourage you all to spread the word about this program. We are always looking to partner with folks, help support folks, help to lead events where folks can get signed up for the ACP. So really want to, light a fire and get our whole region connected. And I'd love to see kind of going into next year, that number comparing our region to the rest of California to see that gap closed. So excited to move that forward, but wanted to give you kind of a temperature check of what we're looking at now and also introduce you to folks from California and across the United States who are leading ACP programs to talk a bit about their work, what they're doing to get these community members signed up. So we're going to hear today from 3 different folks, starting off with Kurt Peluso of Everyone On, who is a Senior Director of Programs and Partnerships. We'll also hear from our colleague and partner Debbie Shireman from the California Emerging Technology Fund, who was mentioned earlier. Debbie is the Digital Inclusion Program Director, and we'll also hear from Claudia Corona of Human IT, who is a Community Partnership Associate. So I will kick it over to you first, Kurt, to present.
Great. Thank you, Caitlin. Thanks so much for having me today. Really excited to be joining everyone, to kind of share a little bit about Everyone On, who we are, what we do, and a little bit about the work around ACP. So Everyone On is a national 501c3 nonprofit. We are based in Los Angeles. The primary of our staff is in California. I'm one of the few who do not live in California, but we are a national organization, so we're spread out throughout. But we do, I would say, out of every state, probably do our most work in California, and we're always looking for new partners on the ground to work with. A little bit over there is our mission of how we try to unlock social and economic opportunity by connecting families and underserved communities to affordable internet service and devices and providing digital skills and training, especially during the pandemic. I think everyone knows now how important it is to be connected. To date, we're actually celebrating our 10-year anniversary, so you'll see that throughout the slides, but we have connected over 1 million people to the internet, have distributed over 5,000 devices, and have done hundreds of digital skills trainings in the past 3 years. I will tell you right now, the digital skills trainings have been a high priority for a lot of our partners. Thanks to ACP, there's been a lot of success in getting more people connected and more people getting devices in their hands, because you also get that $100 subsidy for a device as well when you sign up for ACP. So we do encourage everyone to please go to our website. There's a number of tools that we're going to walk through, but we recently did a report with Dr. John Horgan. It kind of goes through the different studies we've done with who we're trying to connect. Very informative, and it really highlighted the importance of digital literacy skills and kind of highlighting the relevancy for those who are disconnected. I was just in Tampa Housing Authority, and just showing people, what they can do online, like kind of blew their minds. So a lot of times those who are disconnected don't know kind of the full realm of what broadband can do for them. So we do encourage everyone to definitely check out the report. A lot of interesting facts there, and anyone who's worked in this space knows Dr. John Horgan is one of the best. So digital inclusion, how do we do it at scale? Our big thing is our national offer locator tool. If you go to our website, you can type in your zip code and you can see all different low-cost offers for computers, devices, and digital skills that are being taught at different libraries and nonprofits. We are agnostic, so we work with every ISP, every device refurbisher, every digital skill partner. If you do it, we're happy to help you. And just full disclosure, we don't get a cut if you go from our website to someone else's. We just want it to be a useful tool for people to see what's available in their community. We've also established an enrollment assisted hotline. California is one of the states we do provide this assistance to. So we do have a number where if you type in your zip code, you will see a one-on-one individual that could help you with that. Internet connectivity and device solutions, we want to make sure everything is available. So you'll see that they're offer locator tool. Our Digital Skills Academy, which we'll go into greater detail about. There's a number of ways how we kind of overcome this challenge. And our big thing is being a national partner is finding those local boots on the ground, making sure they have the tools and resources they need. So a lot of times you'll find, we'll find nonprofits who kind of do a lot of stuff we do, and they don't need us, which is great. We'll have others that say, hey, we need help with the device aspect. Okay, we'll help them out where they need it, and then we kind of leave from there. So it's really a great partnership that can go in a lot of different ways, just depending on what the need is. So as I mentioned, National Offer Locator Tool, we're really highlighting the Affordable Connectivity Program. So you'll see that we have the unique prices and sites that are set up by the ISPs. Those will be the first things that roll in. We also have a direct link to USAC's page, so you can pick which ISP you want. Very easy, and if you do need further assistance, we do have the hotline number to kind of assist with this as well. So on top of the enrollment assistance, we also do devices. We work with a number of device refurbishers, as well as people who provide new devices. Human IT, who you'll be hearing from later on, is on our website as well, which we're really excited about. We're working with them, PCs for People, Planet ROI, and a few different local device refurbishers as well. The enrollment assistance hotline is great. What's really unique about this is that you'll speak to an actual individual. We found some other entities that are providing this service, but oftentimes it's a recording or there's a cap on how long they have to speak to you. What we do is we kind of walk you all the way through. Sometimes it's a whole family we've done it through. I know our customer service representatives have connected a daughter, then the mom, then the grandma, and just kind of go in line, which we're more than happy to do. So we definitely encourage everyone to kind of, if you need that assistance or if you have communities that need that, definitely share information out. We're here to help where we can. The Digital Skills Academy is really tailored based on the needs of the different communities that we're serving. So we do workforce development, we do classes for senior citizens, we do K through 12. We do very beginning, we do somewhat advanced. So it just really matters what you need. We're really excited about rolling out this program within the last few years. We've done a lot with the senior population, especially senior housing authorities with their senior population, and also partnering with different libraries. We're really excited for 2023. We're working with the American Library Association to go to a lot of rural communities who are often overshadowed, so we can go there as well. We do this for a number. We also do with different partnerships with Digital Connections. One is for adults that are underserved areas. We do them in both English and bilingual. The photo you're seeing right here is the work we're doing with El Paso in Texas. Their public library was phenomenal. We also coined one of our programs, the Bridges to Tech, which is with mostly funded through Best Buy. These are the cities that we've worked to them in their teen tech centers. A great program where we work with underserved communities, and we do a number of different programs. Sometimes we'll do the Digital Skills Academy where we're focusing on, just basics and computer skills. But we've also kind of grown to do more professional certifications. So we've done Grow with Google, Microsoft certifications, and our probably most popular one is the LinkedIn Learning certifications. So we cover the cost for these individuals so that, when they submit a resume, they have these certifications that they can showcase as well, whether it's in program management, customer service, HR, computing, just a number of different things. So great program. LinkedIn just recently rolled out and is continuing to grow. So the other part we do is a train the trainer model. So if you don't want us to bring in like a instructor, a lot of times communities have staff, they just don't know what to do or how to do this kind of work. So we did this train the trainer model where we'll do a course over, sometimes it's like a 3-day course where, we kind of focus on what their community needs. Some are more focused on workforce development, some are college readiness. It really varies based on the community. And some we just do a kind of wide range, so we cover a little bit of everything. We recently partnered with the University of Memphis with their grad school students in social services, where we did the train the trainer model, and then they went out in the community and worked with individual families to find out what their needs were. It was a great program. We were able to provide each family with a laptop, get them enrolled in ACP, and then depending on the family is what we focused on, whether it be getting ready for college. We partnered with College Board on that. If it was workforce development, how to create a resume, cover letter, how to apply for and look for jobs online. Also, we did some beginning stuff for if they had school-age children with ABC Mouse. So some really cool programs we did at the University of Memphis that we really enjoyed and are growing that program out to a number of different communities as well. So how we find success is, we're looking for materials with self-guided learning. We want people learning on their own. We also obviously want the classroom setting. So we do a lot of after-school programs, also partnering with institutions that are trusted by the community, whether it be religious institutions or libraries. We do have one-on-one support from our instructors. Assisted enroll in low-cost internet, ACP, just really kind of pushing that out. I can't tell you how many times we've been to a housing authority and done enrollment events and people had no idea this existed and what a difference it makes, just that savings if they already have internet or getting them connected so they can have internet for the first time. We also work on loaner devices or direct donations. So if you do have like devices that you're looking to kind of get refurbished and back in the community, we work with a number of device refurbishers that could assist in that as well. So as I mentioned, how we make our impact is just working to give the tools and resources necessary to those who are on the ground. We really love working with whether it be school district, local municipalities, or local nonprofits, given the tools and resources they need to get the communities they work with connected. I think Christy mentioned this earlier with Bite Back. Having those trusted partners goes a long way. And for us, especially working with ACP, we found that there's a lot of communities that do not trust programs rolled out by the federal government. Unfortunately, they've been fooled before and they don't want to be fooled again. So we definitely want to work with those in the community that are trusted. And even though it is a great program and we really applaud the FCC and everyone for rolling this program out, we want to make sure that we're working with people the community trusts so we can get them enrolled as much as possible. So this is a little bit about our work in California. So we are working, especially in the Bay Area, with the Green Light Fund. Really excited about rolling this out, working with a number of local nonprofits and communities. We actually have Gabby for our team who is leading this effort. And if anyone's familiar with the work Green Light does, it's really a great initiative. This is our first year. We're just wrapping up out of 3. And really excited about the growth that we've seen in this program. And as mentioned, we've kind of hit 4 of our big pillars here, as you can see on this slide. Union Bank, we actually just did a call with them that was recorded. So if anyone's interested, we could send it. The big thing is a lot of banks, and they really stress this at Union Bank during COVID, it did a lot of online banking. And with a lot of online banking often loses those from low income areas. So we're really kind of focused on doing more digital skills learning around online banking and setting up accounts for people. So we're really excited about the work we're doing in San Diego, and then we'll be spreading that to the Bay Area and in Los Angeles as well. And our work with Microsoft is right now kind of focused in the Los Angeles area in California, but you can see there's some other cities that we're working as well. Microsoft has been great with stepping up to the stable and helping fund the growth of the enrollment assisted hotline, as well as a lot of the studies that we've done have been sponsored by Microsoft as well. And then California Public Utilities Commission have been phenomenal. We've been working with them a lot with different housing authorities. We just completed a program in San Buenaventura Housing Authority where we did all of the components that we mentioned, the digital skills training. We provided laptops and also enrollment assistance. And they just have a great team over in the housing authority over there. And then we always like to share a story. So this is Miss Gibbs. Miss Gibbs currently resides at the Jersey City Housing Authority. This was her first time getting online, owning a computer, and through the workforce development program, we were able to help her look for a job, and she was fortunate to find one. She was very interested in gardening. She never owned her own home, so she wanted to garden within the housing authority, and it's something they allowed her to explore on. And she's now focused on vertical gardens for those that are living in apartments. So she got hired by Jersey City to expand on vertical gardens throughout the city. It started as volunteer, then part-time work, and now she has a full-time job with Jersey City and is slowly now moving out of the housing authority to get a place of her own, which we're really excited about. And Miss Gibbs is a great advocate for that. So this is a number of partners that we've done. I've mentioned them all already. There's so many different ways you can partner with us. We're always looking for mentor opportunities, people to share their stories. Teaching classes is a big one, especially if you have a background in tech. A lot of times we work with students who don't know what path to take to get to a career they want. So people kind of sharing those is always really exciting for them. We actually just met someone who works with the Federal Aviation, who's going to be a guest speaker for our workforce development courses, which we're really excited about. And the big thing is signing up for ACP. We really want to push that out. This is our Everyone On team. Fun group. Our CEO, Norma Fernandez, who's very well known in Los Angeles area, has been doing a great job. And a good looking group of folks who are always committed to the work. And I just want to thank everyone for having me this afternoon. We're jumping the gun here for Friday. I'm looking forward to a conversation and happy to answer any questions anyone might have. And hearing from the rest of the speakers, as I mentioned before, CETF and Human IT, great programs that we've had the pleasure working with in the past.
Thank you so much, Kurt. I think we're going to kick it over to Debbie next, but we'll have some time for general questions at the end. And I know, Kurt, you have to pop off a little early. So if we get any Kurt specific questions, I will definitely forward them your way. But I'm going to kick it off over to Debbie Sharman next. And thank you, Kurt, for providing such a great overview. It's so interesting to see all those different programs. So appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And I think we're going to go ahead and stop sharing and we will give it over to you, Debbie.
Thank you so much. I'm going to try to share my screen here. So great to see you all. My name is Debbie Shireman with California Emerging Technology Fund. We've been active getting internet out to low-income families for almost 15 years. So we've been in the business a while, and we're a nonprofit foundation, and we work with nonprofit organizations throughout the state to help solve the digital divide and throughout the communities that they reside in. We have partnerships with many state agencies. Our CEO is on the California Broadband Council, and we work really closely with the California Broadband Office, have excellent partnerships with Valley Vision, with Everyone On, and with Human IT, everyone who's here. So thanks for inviting me to this. I wanted to start by sharing a little more information about enrollment, information that you all may find useful. It's some tools that we've developed, and I put the link to this website I'm pulling up right now in the chat already for you. And there's 2 files I'm going to show you very briefly and send out to you following this meeting. So you all know what ACP is. I do want to say some great, exciting news. Just within the last month, there's been some database synchronization that have occurred, and automatic verification of people who are in some of the programs. So anyone who has Medi-Cal, anyone who participates in HUD, or has a veteran's pension plan, the databases are now synced up where people likely won't have to provide proof that they participate in programs. So basically, if you're filling out an application and the name on the application and the address on the application and social security number on the application matches how they have their account set up, say with Medi-Cal, then they are auto-enrolled or auto-verified. No longer all these extra steps of going and digging and finding your paperwork to prove that you're eligible. So it's really, really cool. And we found that it's really made a big difference in helping people enroll into the program. So I wanted to shout that out to you first because it's really making a difference. One of the things that we do is we have a call center in California. We have some partnerships with quite a few counties, and we help do advertising for the product on TV and radio. And we also have partnered with a lot of state agencies to share information about these offers. Medi-Cal is sending out 8.2 million flyers right now. So they just started hitting the homes, and there's a link provided to them to sign up for the service. But if anyone needs some help filling out the application and such, there's a phone number on that. And that when the calls come into our call center, they are actually supported by nonprofit organizations throughout the state. So the nonprofit individuals will help people fill out the applications and get signed up for the service. So wanted to give you that information right away so you all can use that about the auto enrollment or auto verification. The information that I have on my screen, I wanted to share with you. This is posted on the California Broadband Office website, and that's the link that I gave you in the chat, and we could provide it to you again. But this is a tool that all of the organizations, counties, and cities refer to see how they're doing individually on enrollment, helping people enroll. And so I just will show it to you quite briefly. There's a dial here that shows that there are 13 million households in California, and 5.8 million households are eligible for the internet or for the ACP program. So that's 45% in California. And of that, there's 5.8 million eligible, but 1.699 million enrolled right now. So we're at 29% of goal statewide. This tool will enable you to see how you're doing in your county by just going ahead and you click on this tab right here, and you could enter in your county. If I entered in Sacramento, you can see where your county is at enrollment. And this is information as of the end of September. And I just got information in yesterday afternoon for October. So this will be loaded onto the site within the next, probably by the end of the day today. So right now in Sacramento, we know that there's 543,000 households. Of that, 248,000 are eligible. So 46% of the households in Sacramento County are eligible. And of that, there are 70,000 enrolled. And so that's 28% are enrolled right now. This information is also available by zip code. So if you go ahead and enter a zip code, Caitlin, do you have a zip code you could provide me? I'll demonstrate how it works.
Let's do 95667.
95667. Oh,
No.
I gotta get to the thing here. 95667. So I could see in zip code 95667, there's 15,000 households. 3,491 are eligible. So that's 22% of the households are eligible. And as of September 30th, there were 729 people enrolled. So that's at 21%. So this is a tool that hopefully you all will start using to really see where you need more efforts and where your efforts are paying off. So it's really, really nice tool to take a look at. The next thing I'm going to go to is an Excel spreadsheet. I'm kind of an Excel spreadsheet geek, so I like it. I hope you do too. This is something that this is what feeds into the database that we just looked at, but it gives a picture for the whole state. You can see every county and how they're doing, and it gives you the information in where you can also see a trend on how a specific area is doing, month over month. This information on this side is the percentage of households enrolled to households eligible. We looked at that online a minute ago, but this is the raw data that enables you to see, again, how you're kind of trending. So I'm going to go ahead. So we know right now, because this is brand new from yesterday afternoon, we're at 1.7 million enrolled now. So that went from 1.699 enrolled last month. So if I went ahead and just highlighted those counties that are part of this coalition, so we could see at that kind of snapshot, and this is similar to the snapshot you saw a minute ago, but this provides you, information at a county level. We also have this information at a zip code level. So I'm going to show you that really quickly, and then you'll just see how it works, and then you will be able to go ahead and use the data to trend out how things are going by zip code. So you could see by zip code where the target areas are. I know that like in Fresno, they have a competition going on right now, a few cities in the Fresno area, and they are they're winning a prize of a free Chromebook to give away to their community, whoever has the most improvement month over month. So this enables organizations or cities and whomever to do that, to see really how is that zip code doing. So I filtered this by County of Sacramento. You have a lot of zip codes. And this right here, if we look at households eligible, you could see maybe those would be your target areas, because you have, and I went ahead and highlighted it, any that are at or almost 50% or more eligible for ACP. And we could see how those areas specifically are doing on the program. So if I did the same thing and I filtered by color, we could see that the most needed efforts, perhaps we'll call it, and how they're doing. And this is really, really good. And you could see where, again, you need some more effort, but where, it's really, really working well, and you could see some progress. So I could see, for example, this one right here, 95838, 46% of the households are eligible, and they're at 62% enrolled. So wherever that is in Sacramento, congratulations. You're doing a really good job. So I just wanted to share these tools with you so you can leverage them and really see the benefits of all of your efforts, and where you need maybe some more work out there in the field. I wanted to also mention that what we found is really, really works is, and this is obvious, but I'll just mention it anyway, targeting group specific areas. So just recently, I mentioned the flyers are going out to 8.2 million households that are on Medi-Cal. Now we know people on Medi-Cal, it's an automatic verification. So that's like super cool, win-win, to get people enrolled really easily. The way cool thing too, already it was mentioned, the housing authorities, HUD is something that's now auto-verified. So when you do efforts in those developments, they don't have to go and find their lease to show that they're approved for HUD anymore. As long as the name and the address that they enroll in matches their lease or their rental agreement, they're going to get auto-verified. So it just before the auto-verify occurred, it was usually a two-time conversation, and people would call, and then they would have to, oh my goodness, sorry, people would call, learn about the product, and then they'd have to find out what they needed. They'd have to hang up, go dig up their paperwork, call back, and then our call center would help them upload their documentation. So it's really cut the whole transaction down a whole bunch. So that's the big high level things I wanted to share with you all. We love the partnership that we have with Valley Vision, and look forward to partnerships with any organization on here. We're happy to help. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie. And also thank you for sharing about that synchronization within the benefits. I know you were the one who told us about it and kind of helped unpack it a little bit. And you've had some lots of positive comments and some questions in the chat. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our last speaker here, Claudia Corona, who is a Community Partnership Associate with Human IT. I'll throw it over to you, Claudia.
Thank you, Caitlin, and thank you, Debbie and Kurt. Yeah, so I'm Claudia Corona. I'm the Community Partnership Associate at Human IT. I know we're brief on time, so happy Friday. I'll move over to the next slide for just a quick overview of our mission at Human IT. We're a nonprofit organization focused on creating equitable access to individuals and communities left on the wrong side of the digital divide, while at the same time empowering businesses and organizations to do good by diverting technology from landfills to protect our planet. And so the way we do this is on our next slide. We do this by addressing the full spectrum of the digital divide with devices, internet connectivity, digital literacy, and tech support. And so one of the things we do is help individuals navigate reduced rate, low-cost programs in their area, low-cost internet programs in their area for free. If they don't qualify, we can help them access a mobile hotspot from a Human IT program. All our services come in English and Spanish. There's unbiased guidance based on their location. We help assess the available internet providers, and we do a step-by-step initial outreach support for their sign-up completion. And so, as you all are aware of, we do this mainly through the Affordable Connectivity Program, which as we heard earlier, qualifying households can receive up to $30 off their internet bill. And so Human IT, what we do is we assist households signing up to this program through their preferred internet provider. One of the other things that we have is our mobile citizen hotspot offer, which I mentioned in the previous slide. The beauty about the mobile hotspot is that it can be, if you are on the go constantly, this mobile hotspot can be taken anywhere to have reliable internet access. It comes with the T-Mobile network. And so we can apply the ACP offer to this mobile hotspot. And we're also one of the few providers that can provide a $100 off discount on a computer in our Human IT store. So I added here our typical affordable connectivity flyer. It's very easy to read. It has some of the eligibility requirements. It has our information, our phone number, our website, the QR code, in which individuals can complete the enrollment form. And then one of our specialists will contact them to make sure that they're discuss the enrollment options that the recipients have available, as well as making sure that they are eligible for the laptop, the free laptop discount. And so with the $100 off coupon discount for our laptops, qualified households and nonprofits can also access our Human IT store, in which there are desktops as low as $75, laptops as low as $100. So a lot of the times, that $100 discount can cover the entire cost of their device. This is also where we have our mobile hotspot offer. The device itself is $80, but with the ACP offer, they can get the $15 a month service fee completely covered. This is a no contract hotspot. It has unlimited data, and it has our free technical support. All our devices refurbished and new do come with a 1-year warranty. Our hotspots have a 9-month warranty, and we have 1 year of tech support as well as free shipping. And last but not least, we also have our digital literacy program, in which we help individuals navigate digital literacy courses that includes emails, navigating the internet. This is available 24/7. It is virtual, Spanish and English. And as you can see here, these are some of the topics of basics of even how to use the mouse, keyboard basics, operating Windows and Chrome OS, internet safety, and email basics. In addition to that, we do have live support. This is via phone call, text message, or chat. This is available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We also have virtual one-on-one support tutoring, and we have our Facebook groups and Facebook Lives monthly, where we add additional skills topics. And the last slide is just pretty much my information. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I know we're brief on time, so if there's any questions that I didn't answer or any opportunities that you see your way, feel free to contact me.
Thank you so much, Claudia. And you actually got us perfectly on time. So I appreciate you doing so. I think it's hard for all of us, myself included, to stay on time in some of these things. So I'm always pleased when we're right on schedule. So thank you for that. I think we're going to go ahead and stop sharing our screen for just a moment here. And I want to open up some time for Q&A. I want to, at the end of our meeting, quickly plug our first quarterly meeting next year, but I want folks to have an opportunity to ask our panelists some questions. I believe Kurt had to pop off, but we still have Debbie and Claudia with us. I know that there are some questions and things floating in the chat. Is there anything anyone wanted to go ahead and ask the panelists while we have them here with us? Or are we marinating? Are we a little bit shy this Friday morning or afternoon, I should say?
Caitlin, while we wait, I did see there was a question, there was a mention in this chat about tying the enrollment data to a map.
Yes,
I put a link in the chat. We do have that synced up. Chico State University had put this information together, and so you have it there already.
And Debbie, I wanted to follow, I think Ian, this was your question. When you're talking about some of that, the synchronization between HUD and all of that, is there like an article or a press release document that announces some of that or talks about it a bit further that folks could share? Or is this something you figured out or like through your genius connections?
Well, we have a relationship with a task force from the White House that told us about it. We didn't know about it. So there's a task force that is focusing on what could be done to improve the process. And they link these up, these three government programs. There's some states that have SNAP linked up as well. And that's a state and county implementation. The good news is more people have Medi-Cal than SNAP. So we did some analysis to see, okay, what's the low hanging fruit? What do we really have to put our efforts to, say, get this activated? And all of our nonprofits who help people on the daily basis also indicate most people have one, have the other, and you could get Medi-Cal automatically if you have SNAP. Plus, you get Medi-Cal if you're on a whole bunch of more other programs. So.
Gotcha. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Debbie. I know that was like really eye-opening for us. And I love seeing folks in the chat being like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. We should have included that in our presentation, but I'm really glad that you improved it.
I want to shout it from the rooftops.
Get a big banner, or, tattooed on our foreheads, all that good stuff. We have just a minute or so for questions. Anyone want to sneak a question in there? If not, we'll have everyone's email listed in the PowerPoint and folks can follow up individually as well. But I know we're short on time, but I always like to give folks the platform to ask if you want. Going once, going twice.
I can add something just real quick. I forgot to mention. Feel free to reach out to me. We usually do have opportunities down the pipeline to partner up with organizations to provide free computers. That's not all the time, but it's always nice to have those contacts in case we do have future opportunities down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Claudia, for sharing that, offering to share that. Okay, if we're shy this afternoon and just ready for a nice.
Oh, we have a hand up.
Oh, go ahead. I'm so sorry, Ian. Go ahead. Thank you.
Howdy. Wanted to thank y'all for everything today. And I was actually curious if there is any way for any of the externals here to be able to pull that raw enrollment data by month. Seems really interesting. I didn't see a way to do that on the links that were provided. Is that just your internal data you were sharing?
Yeah, I actually pull it from the USAC site on a monthly basis, but I'll give you the spreadsheet. So you'll have it. So so it's not available. Anyway, yeah, I'll give you this to put it shortly.
Thank you so much. And then would you be able to just one more time list which programs are included in that data aggregation again?
Yes, Medi-Cal, HUD, and Veterans Pension Plan. Now, if I have a moment, what's key is the name on the application has to match. That was a challenge at first. Some people do middle name, last name, blah, blah, blah. So that's key. And they do need to provide a 4-digit social. That's how part of their matching criteria. So if it is not available, it still may, it may be necessary to do the old school way. But
Thank you so much.
yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for all of that background, Debbie. And this is what bringing together this coalition is all about, that great information sharing, working together, this collaboration. I was excited when we first jumped on with some of our guest speakers that, Debbie and Kurt and others and Next Gen have all worked together. And so I love seeing this, this community that we've developed. We're going to share a screen on our very last slide here. Just thanking you all so much for joining us here today, and also want to plug our next quarterly meeting, which I think is on the next slide here, or on my, sorry, now I'm getting confused with my screens. You think we'd figure this out? Here we go. Let me go here. Alrighty. So our next quarterly meeting will be on Friday, March 10th from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We'll drop a link to that registration in just a second here. But that's when our next meeting will be. And again, thank you all so much for joining us today and for listening to all of this information about ACP. For some of you who may be totally new to this, I know you might need some time for your brain to kind of sit with this information and download it a little bit, but we're so excited at the opportunity to work with you all on this. We've been working closely with CTF this year and are hoping to host some additional enrollment events and get folks connected going into next year, hosting enrollment events, all of that good stuff and that good work, and really are excited to share some of this data with you all. There's certain things looking at our region that are, seeing our low enrollment rate really impassions me to push that number up to get more people connected, looking at that money that we're leaving on the table every month, and knowing that ACP is not a forever program, at least for now. Those funds are going to run out, and if we don't get our folks signed up, they won't have it available. So just excited to push that charge and get folks signed up. But without further ado, I promise to get you out by lunchtime, and we're about 2 minutes until there. So I might give you 2 minutes of your afternoon back. Thank you again for joining us. I'm going to go ahead right now and drop a link for our next quarter's meeting here in the chat. And I also want to go ahead and thank, we have a couple additional representatives who joined us today. Aaron Lotta from Congressman Matsui's office. I think he might have popped off, but Congresswoman Matsui has provided a lot of ongoing support to our coalition with Valley Vision, and also helped with our NTIA application and with our yearly cap to cap advocacy. I also know that Marina McClatchy joined us here today. She is the new state lead with the NTIA, is going to help us with some of our digital equity planning next year. And Melissa Kovacs and our Chico state partners who've joined us here today. Melissa has done an excellent job helping our workforce team with data in the past, and also helping with this incoming NTIA grant. So without further ado, I'm dropping a link in the chat for our next meeting, encouraging you all to join us, and I am getting you out for lunch. So thanks again for taking the time to join us today, and I hope you all have a lovely afternoon. Bye, folks.